Good morning everyone, and welcome to one more video. Today we're going to see how we maneuver a boat single-handed. That means that we're going to take the boat out by myself without any external or internal help, and also I'm going to bring the boat again inside without any external help. You're going to see all the preparation and all the process together. So a lot of people believe that doing the single-handed maneuvers is about skills. It is about skills, but mostly is about preparation. As you're going to see, today we have a lot of wind, about 20 knots of wind coming from the stern and from the starboard side of the boat. And we need to prepare very, very accurately in order to achieve our objective, which is the single-hand docking. First of all, we start with the observations. The observation is that the wind is coming from that direction. And also we start by looking around us. What is this boat next to us? What is this boat next to us? This boat, as you can see here, is a very high boat. That means that I'm going to lift my fenders a little bit higher because I want to protect my boat and this boat as well. The other boat to the other side, it's a little bit higher than us, but not as high as the other. So the fenders not as high here. So we adjust the fenders. Another thing that is extremely important is the docking setup. That means I have to observe over here. Do I have rings outside or I have bollards? That makes a lot of difference, because if I have a bollard, I can put the line just by having a loop with a bow line already set. But if I don't have a bollard, I need to be very quick with the knot that I'm going to do with my first line that I'm going to give outside. Talking about this, first line is going to be always the windward line. And for us, it's going to be that line. That means that as we depart, we're going to release that line last. And as we arrive, we're going to put this line first to this bollard over there. About now the preparation. The preparation of the boat consists of the lines, the fenders, the anchor, that we have to have it ready because we are single-hand if it's necessary to drop it in a case of emergency. We're going to have all the hatches of the boat closed, so we have access to all the surface of the boat without any obstruction. The hook that we're going to use later to hook the mooring lines from outside of the dock in order to set the mooring lines accurately, successfully. Of course, life jackets, because imagine that we are single-handed and something happened to us, at least we're going to fall into the water safely. We're not going to damage ourselves. And of course, we're going to do the maneuver without the bow thruster because we don't need it, but we're going to have it active and we're going to test if it works. Let's talk now about the plan. The plan that we're going to have, it has to be in such a way that we're going to eliminate any potential danger or damage to the other boats and to us. So for us, our plan leaving the dock is just to release all the lines apart from the windward stern line. And the moment that the gust of the wind goes down, we're going to release it and go out very, very smoothly, despite that we have a very strong wind. The plan to come back now is, again, to come back without any other thought. We're going to have to focus only to give out this line first, attach it to the bollard, and engage the engine so we can control the boat exactly to the spot that we want it. All the other things, it might sound complicated, but it is not, because all the other things we don't care about. We care only about the windward line. If the rudder works properly, if we have any vibration, and then we go ahead and test the engine. So the sequence that we're going to release the lines is we start from the stern line, which is the leeward side. We're going to ease it up, so we're going to have the leverage of the windward line. After we drop the bow lines, the mooring lines, and the last thing that we have here is just to release the windward stern line, and we're ready to go out. Now, by having this line as a leverage, we're going to get the boat as much as possible to the wind, and we're ready to go and drop the mooring lines from the bow. Let's go and do it. So here we have the two mooring lines that are holding the boat into position, and as you can see, we have also the anchor ready for dropping at any given moment. We start by releasing always the leeward side, and come here to observe something. And as you can see, because we don't want to waste time single-handed, we have already set our marks in order to know how much we're going to pull the mooring lines after we reach to our destination again, after we return to our spot again. So we're releasing also, we wait for the boat to go alongside with the other boat, and after we release that line, we're going to go without any hesitation to the rudder and to the throttle to control how much we want the boat to be next to the other boat. I'm releasing, line in the water, and we go back now. So as you see now, we have no lines at the bow. Both of the lines dropped in the water. We have windward line and leeward line, and the boat slowly drifts to the leeward side. I increase a little bit my throttle, and I can bring the boat again next to the other boat, so I can release the leeward line completely, and I will focus only to that line. So now I'm preparing that line in such a way that it's not going to take me a lot of time to release it. I'm going to have it here to slip it out as I go out, and then I can go out like a slingshot. But as we said, we need to wait for the gas to calm down, and then we're going to go out. And as you see, guys, I will slowly ease this line to go out under tension, and my rudder straight so I can keep the boat as much as possible towards the wind. I forget this line completely when I go out. It's going to drop into the water, and I'm going to collect it later on. Make sure that you don't crash to the mooring lines at all the time, so your rudder doesn't go to the mooring lines. And when I straight the boat, as you see, the line is in the water. I don't really worry about it, because I go out and then I will collect it by taking my time. I keep the boat to the windward side and I collect the line. And here we go. We have the boat out of the slot, which is, let's say, the most stressful thing to do. Clear from the lines, and now we're going to prepare the boat to dock it again, to put it back into place. For the preparation, I'm not going to stay to this stressful environment. I'm going to go to the area of the marina that has a lot of space. I'm going to drive the boat as high as possible to the wind. I'm going to put it in neutral, let it drift, and I will set up my new setup, which is for the docking. The only thing that is going to change now, that I'm not going to put a slip line, but I'm going to prepare a relatively short line that is easy to handle it with a bow line at the edge of it. So it's going to take me just a second to apply it and set it outside to the bollard. You see now I put the boat as high as possible to the wind to have a little bit of space, so I can put neutral, let the boat drift slowly and keep an eye around me, and I'm going to prepare this line. This line, I'm going to do a double bow line at the end of it. So I'm going to be sure that the bow line is going to stay 100%, and I'm not going to lose it the most critical moment that I'm going to put it on the cleat, on the bollard. And I set it ready here. So I bring the line here so it's ready to put it out. And then the most important thing, I'm going to preset the length of the line. The length should be so much so I can put it out, but not that much, so I'm going to let the boat, after I set the line out, I want it to be in as close distance as possible to the dock. And I do the cleat hitch over here. So my purpose is, when I reach the dock, I'm going to let the boat go very close to the dock, almost touching with the fenders, with the back fender, engage that slow reverse to keep it against the wind, and then I'm going to cap just the line onto the bollard and come again into the boat, engage forward, and then I am secure. Windward line secure, I am secure. So very important now, I'm going to go inside. I don't want a lot of drama as I go into to my slot. So I'm going to enter straight ahead by reversing. I'm not going to put the boat inside and then turn it on the spot. I'm going to go in by reversing to have, as speed is required, a little bit faster than usually today because we have a lot of wind. And also my plan is that if everything fails, I have my fenders to protect my boat and the other boats. So I don't really worry. Even if everything fails, I will just let the boat touch the other boats with the fenders. I'm start my reversing. I'm going to give a nice thrust to start going backwards, and I'm going to enter to my corridor and have the boat ready just to reverse to the wind and slap the wind and go to my slot. Since I gain a little bit of speed, I turn my rudder. And when I feel like the boat has maneuverability, I will reduce the RPM. Not that slow, but also I don't want a lot of speed. As I approach, of course, I'm going to see how the boat reacts. If I see that my maneuver is not successful, I'm not going to insist on that. I'm going to abort and re-approach again. I have the whole time in the hold for me. I see that the boat doesn't really want to turn so much. I give it one more thrust reverse. And then I go again to lower the RPM, and again the boat doesn't turn. I abort, and I'm going to re-approach by turning my bow a little bit higher to the wind. Of course, I want to tell you that don't let the wind scare you. Don't let the wind build you up your stress. You need to do as many maneuvers as possible to counter the wind, to understand why the wind doesn't let you do the thing that you want to do, and reapproach with a different method. I put my bow a little bit higher to the wind, and now with my reversing, you're going to see that I will have the wind helping me. Neutral to let the boat calm down a little bit, and then I engage my reverse, and now you're going to see how differently the boat will behave. It's very important here to focus on maintaining the proper speed, because if I try to give again thrust with my engine, I'm going to have a huge prop walk that is going to ruin my maneuver. So I maintain enough throttle so I have enough speed and not a lot of prop walk. This takes practice, and if I need, I abort the maneuver and I approach again. So now that I'm entering the slot, the wind is calming down because I am protected from the other boats, so I'm going to slow down a little bit more. I don't need a lot of speed. I keep the boat as much as possible to the windward side, and then I'm targeting for my slot. There is our position, and I will slowly start my turning to fill the boat. I'm going to keep the boat as close as possible to the other boat, which is to the windward side, so I will have a little bit of delay by the time that the wind will start drifting me. As you see, I almost touching the boat. I avoid crashing, of course, the boat because I don't want to bounce to the other fenders. And as I come back, I know that the boat will almost stop by the time that I will touch the dock. Rudder in the center to stop it. And I'm just gonna go out and cap it. And the job is done. Now, whatever is going to happen with the boat, I know that with the windward line attached, I'm going to give a little bit forward. The boat will have a little bit of delay, but eventually I'm going to have the boat getting next to the other boat. I trust the process. I'm not in a rush. I give time to the boat. slowly to relax, and then I will get the boat next to the other boat. If I get next to it, then I'm gonna take this line back in order to approach a little bit so I can hook the mooring lines. So I got close enough with the boat. Again, I will let it go next to the other boat, to the windward side. And now I have all the time in the world in order to take the hook and hook the mooring lines. Very important now, I need to keep this small line, which is the lazy line, I need to keep it away as much as possible from the propeller. So I'm not going to have it entangled to the propeller. If this happens, the engine will shut down. So as you see here, my mark that I want to bring the line here is over there. But I'm not going to do it with my own power. I'm going to let the boat go forward, going to pull just a slack, and when I'm ready, I'm going to reverse to make both of the lines tight. So we put the other line as well, let the boat come forward. When we set it to the correct length, we're going to reverse with the engine, not with the muscles, not with our own power. Nice. Let's go now to ease the stern line to let the boat come a little bit forward. So now we're going to ease this line, but because this line is under pressure, I give some slack here, and then I can ease it like this to control every moment. I need about 2 meters, 1.5, 2 meters, slowly giving. And because I have my engine forward, I know that the boat will stay into position. Very nice. And now I fix again the line here. I let the engine running, dead slow and a little bit more because I have a lot of wind. And now I go to take the mooring lines to make them tight. As you see, the line now is slack because the boat moved forward, and I'm gonna get all the slack so I can bring my white mark, which is over here. Starboard line ready. Port line ready. Let's go to reverse now the boat. Because I know that the prop walk of this boat takes the boat too much to the port side, I'm going to forward a little bit to let the boat go to the windward side, and then I turn my rudder into straight. I'm preparing with my line to take all the slack, and I give it a nice thrust. I have to give a lot of thrust reverse to start backing as soon as possible. And I make sure that I'm not going to catch any mooring lines behind me. Ready, clack, and give a lot of thrust. And then I let the boat calm down and I take the slack. I do that one time, and I'm going to do it one more or as many times as I like. But I need to bring the boat to the proper position methodically. Again, forward, a little bit of thrust, I go to the wind, and then neutral and reverse. I take more slack, and one more. And I'm very tight and very close to the dock as I wanted to be. I secure the line. Κάτσε να του δώσουμε άλλη μία. Εδώ είσαι. I secure my line. And the boat actually now is done. The only thing that we're going to do now is to get this line out, slip line, and later, when we finish with the other line, we're going to replace this line with the slip line as well, and the boat will be secured into its place. That was our maneuver, dear sailors, undocking and docking the boat single-handed with very high wind. And as you can see, it's not only about skills, it's about preparation. If you want to get better, of course you can watch a video, but the best thing that you can do is to practice. The more you practice, the better you will become. If you want to practice sailing with us, you're going to find link in the description, my Instagram page that you can follow, and book your own course or your own practice with a sailing boat. So I hope you enjoy the video, and see you next time.